Thank you. Thank you. Welcome to the open session of Sun Lakes Homeowners Association. I'd like to start it with the Pledge of Allegiance. If you could all stand. Thank you. Before we begin this evening, I'd like to mention that one of our active volunteers in the community is having her birthday today. Evelyn Hawkins, is she here? There she is. Yeah. She just turned 49. Thank you. Well, that means you can't live here. I wanted to mention that when you come up to make any comments at the end or make any comments on agenda items, please keep it within the 3-minute time period so we can get finished on time. Thank you. First item of business is going to be the report from our general manager.
Thank you, Mr. President, members of the board and community. Some quick updates on some projects. The road work, as a reminder, the next phase of the road work for the RV lot slurry will begin on May 8th. Staff is and has continued to advise the RV owners to vacate the RV lot for 3 weeks to allow for the seal coating and striping. Main golf course bunker project update. They have laid sod on holes 4, 5, and 6. Sand is in the bunkers. Currently, they are doing the final shaping on 7, 8, 9. Sod for those holes will start later this week or Monday. By May 4th, 15 holes will be open. Anticipate, without problems, that the golf course should be fully open May 15th. Main pool project. The pool project was started in March. The work will be completed by May 5th. The spa will be open May 12th. And finally, as a reminder, listening sessions continue, scheduled once per month on the first Monday of the month at 3:30 in the Sandwich. Jason's next report.
Good evening, everyone. This report will give the community an update of actions that were taken by the board at the executive session meetings that were held on April 11th, April 22nd, and April 27th, at which time litigation, member discipline, formation of contracts, and personnel matters were discussed. With member matters, the board reviewed 3 show cause hearings. The board reviewed 1 homeowner appeal of a master architectural committee decision. The board reviewed 1 homeowner appeal to a safety committee decision. The board reviewed 3 member requests. The board reviewed 5 member requests for a fee waiver. The board reviewed 2 member requests for an annual golf refund. The board reviewed a member request for a reimbursement. The board reviewed the names for the restaurant and lounge. This item is on tonight's agenda for approval. The board reviewed a couple letters submitted by homeowners. The board approved the F&B and golf receivables as of March 31st, 2022, as well as the assessment account receivables as of March 31st, 2022. And the board approved the March 31st, 2022 delinquency report. With legal, the board approved the executive session minutes from March 23rd and April 11th. The board approved to continue with the foreclosure on a couple of properties. The board approved a foreclosure on lien and to record the notice of default on the following: APN 440-040-036 and APN 440-103-023. The board met with legal counsel regarding a number of items. The board discussed and appointed members of the board to sit in on a couple internal dispute resolution hearings. With formation of contracts, the board met with representatives from Artistic, Securitas, First Service Residential, Insurance, and Legal Counsel. The board received updates from the management company on a number of items. The board approved 2 credit card expenditures. The board received and filed the Sun Lakes Country Club cash report from April 2022. The board reviewed and approved the March and April narrative and analytic reports from Securitas, and the narrative will be posted on the website. The board reviewed the strategic plan and will continue to review and update monthly. The board set the time and date for the new board orientation. The board reviewed the draft of the new breakfast, lunch, and dinner menus. The board reviewed and approved an estimate to do a camera layout map of the community. This will be on May's open session for final approval and funding. The board discussed moving the open session meetings from 6:30 p.m. to 3 p.m. starting in May. The board reviewed an additional cost for live plants in the restaurant. This item is on tonight's agenda for approval. And finally, the board reviewed and approved the updated delinquency policy to be distributed to the membership due to the new Consumer Financial Protection Bureau requirements. And that completes the report on executive session actions.
Thank you. Is there a report from the City of Banning? How about the sub-associations? District Delegate Assembly? Joe?
Always have something to say, Mr. President. Since we didn't have a meeting during the month of April, obviously we had an election, and that was the meeting of the District Delegate Assembly. And I would like to make a couple of comments on the election, if I might. First of all, no one was excluded from the mailing of the ballots this year. Therefore, 3,327 ballots were sent out to homeowners. Remember, I said homeowners, not residents, because we do have a number of leasees and renters in our community. We only received back 1,941. And I think that's a little bit sad. That's 58.34%. Not long ago, we used to be in the 70s for all districts, and a number of districts we had in the 80s. I just don't understand the apathy of the return. I would like to emphasize something, though, and there's been a lot of questions. I know the administration has had calls and communiques, and I have also, in regards to the delegate or the alternate delegate election. First of all, there were a number of write-ins, and we do have to look at the write-ins. You have to remember that all HOAs today must hire an election company to run their election. Years ago, we used to have our own election committee, and we ran our own election. But you can't do that anymore. So, when we had the candidates for the district delegates and the alternate delegates, we had 16 candidates as a delegate, so we were 7 short, and we had 17 alternate delegates. There were write-ins, 51 in fact, or more than 50 write-ins. And we are obliged, because a write-in is a vote. It's a tabulated vote that is respected and honored by the state and by any election company. So therefore, we have to check with that person. And what we did, I should say probably Tammy did, checked every write-in where there was a vacancy and said, would you take the position? Fortunately, we had a number of yeses. Really, we did. So today, we actually have 21 delegates, and we have 19 alternates. So we're 2 delegates short, and we're 4 alternate delegates short. And for those districts, I will send to the old delegate and try to entice them to help me find their replacement. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to call on the elections. They're too important, and I don't think any question should go unanswered. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joe. Next, Bingo Advisory Committee. No report. Common Area Advisory Committee. No report. Epap?
Good evening, Mr. President and the board and all our neighbors. My name is Sonia Nigro of the Epap executive team. As such, I'm motivated by the understanding that in the event of an emergency, it's always best to be prepared to help ourselves and to help our neighbors. There are several volunteer opportunities that are still available within each district, but also within the Epap management team. I encourage anyone interested in getting involved to speak to either their district delegate or to reach out to any one of us directly. Tonight, I'd like to take a moment to highlight two positions we feel are a priority within the Epap management team. The first one being the Medical Unit Director. This position is one that can be held by a member of our community, such as a retired MD, a retired nurse practitioner, or even a retired RN. Their responsibility will entail being our direct liaison for each district's medical rescue team. This volunteer will help in training the MRTs, help with assuring proper medical supplies are available, and have direct input on emergency procedure protocols. The second position I'd like to highlight is the Epap Patrol Unit Director. This position requires a member of our community and his or her team to assist our present Securitas Community Patrol in the event of an emergency. This includes, but it's not limited to, assuring that generators are ready to go, work with members of the patrol team to understand how to secure and manually operate our gates if we have no power, test our generators monthly and assure that district Epap fire extinguishers are maintained. Simply put, they would help Epap coordinate the overall safety of our community in the event of an emergency. If there is anyone who would like more information on these two highlighted positions or any position within Epap, please contact us directly at an area code 951-524-3126. Thank you and have a good evening.
Thank you very much.
Good evening, Mr. President and the board. My name is Candace Jenkins. I am also one of the executive team members for Epap. As a member of this team, it goes unsaid we are here for the residents of Sun Lakes. We believe that we must come together as a community in difficult times. Our mission is to empower our neighbors to be prepared for an emergency. In the event of a major disaster, it can be a few days before first responders could get to us. Of course, everyone's personal safety must be a priority, but once you are secure, you can then be able to reach out to your neighbors and provide help where needed. In an emergency, there is always something you can do. Perhaps it's checking on a neighbor, but you need to know who they are first. Perhaps you can help with bandaging someone who is hurt, but you must know who to contact for supplies. Perhaps you can help maintain a database of the names, but you must come forward and volunteer to help. We know that to be ready for an emergency, we must plan for the unexpected as best we can. We are working on future training sessions and drills. We can be well prepared when we have the support of our community. If you feel you have something to offer, big or small, reach out to an Epap coordinator. If you don't know who that is, reach out to your district delegate. You can also reach out to Epap directly, as we have someone available to answer your call, again at 951-524-3126. And since February, we have met with 10 of the district coordinators and some of their alternates. We have reviewed the job descriptions and emergency plans with them. We are setting up meetings in May to meet with the remaining coordinators. We are obtaining information on what the coordinators need from us to revive Epap after the 2-year hiatus.
Thank you very much. I appreciate your report. Thank you.
Thank you.
Next is Golf Advisory. Mike?
Good evening. I'm Mike Callahan, Chairman of the Golf Advisory Committee. The major renovation of our sand traps is progressing very well. In addition to installing a new liner material to extend the lifespan of the bunkers, a significant amount of work has been done contouring the areas around the bunkers. This has resulted in giving the bunkers a contemporary look that has been very positive in responses back from our members. I have even received comments from non-golfers regarding how nice some of the holes are looking. We need to thank Mark Birchfield and the maintenance crew for all their hard work, especially with the installation of the sod around the greens, because him and his crew has been instrumental in getting this project completed. As of right now, the project is on schedule, and we anticipate to be completed by the middle of May. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mike. Next, Library Advisory Committee. Lifestyles Committee.
Not so much a report as it is a heartfelt thank you. We on the committee are so very, very happy that so many members of the community view us for their main source of information. Going forward, we hope to continue to do this even better than we do as a trusted source. And again, just basically a thank you to the community for believing in us and using us. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Next, Marketing and Communication.
Good evening, Board, residents. The committee did not meet last month due to scheduling conflicts with the election going on, but our next meeting is tomorrow, the 28th, in the multi-purpose room. Since Hernan has joined us, which was March 7th, we have produced over 50 video productions, have posted over 60 notices on Sun Lake's website and Good Day Sun Lake's Facebook page, and we have also sent out several e-blasts during this last period. The MCAC and Welcome Home will be producing a welcoming video to the new homeowners, which will give them a tour of all of our facilities and whom to in the administration to contact whenever they have any needs, as well as how to navigate the website, sign up as they come in. And that will be given out to all new residents that come in. We're look for expanded sports corner on Channel 97. We're working with Brian over at Golf Shop, and we'll be having more tips and tricks for you golfers on how to play the golf course. We'll be doing more pass putters and training sessions that you'll be having, and hopefully we'll be posting up some winners of tournaments from the various clubs and sports groups, if they will give us the information. And if you're a member of a club and group and you want to have your events or your winners posted on Channel 97 and Good Day Sun Lakes and website, please send them to either Cara or to gooddaysunlakes.com or gooddaysunlakes@gmail.com, and or send them to Ernan in his office, which is right next to Cara's. So that's my report.
Thank you very much, Bob. Next is the Master Architectural Committee. We got double duty here.
I get 2 shots tonight. The Architectural Committee meets the second and the fourth Tuesday of every month. Of course, we do not discuss any of the applications with anyone, but I wanted to say on the part of our chairperson that please, if you need help, any help at all in regards to the rules or regulations or interpretation or how to make out a form, call us. There are 5 members on the committee. Call the administration, the code enforcement. They will help you. Please, it's not that difficult, and it makes it a lot easier, and I want to know that our committee is user-friendly, okay? So, we have, in the past couple of months, our workload is down. We're probably anywhere from 15 to maybe 35 or 40 applications at our meetings. So we have plenty of time to help you out, okay? Thank you.
Thank you. Next is the Recreation Advisory Committee.
Good evening, Master Board, Admin, and our dear residents. I am Patricia Levy, and I am the Chair of the Recreation Advisory Committee. We have been busy putting a lot of nice things on for everyone to come and enjoy, so I hope you've been getting out, because it's just been a lot of fun things to do. My report, I'm just going to let you have the highlights of what's going on and things that you might want to investigate further. COVID testing in the vaccine clinic is going to be Saturday, May the 7th. That's right around the corner, from 10 to 6 in the ballroom and the multipurpose room. Then we're having a health fair on May 3rd, and that is from 10 a.m., and that is in the ballroom. The live stream blood drive, we will have them back on May 12th, and they will be here from 8 to 3. So I think they're aiming to get 30 pints. But we've had really good results on the last few, so you can sign up and do that too. You can make an appointment, or you could be a walk-in if they have time. Elvis is sick. He's not coming, so we postpone that for health reasons. So hopefully, we hope he gets better. And then we start our evenings on the veranda on June the 1st, so that's a big exciting thing to happen too. That's Renee Renaro. I think I said that almost right. And then we have the big Cinco de Mayo celebration coming up on May 5th. That's $16 per person. So you better come out for that. Our very own Chef Chris is going to have a beautiful taco bar and near the veranda and the lounge, and serving some of their beautiful taco, some of their, special margaritas, as well as tequila specialty drinks. And there'll be music and food and fun and drinks and good times, so come on out for that. Ice cream socials will be coming back for the season too. We'll be there on Monday, May the 2nd in the veranda. 3 scoops for $3, you can't beat that. And then start thinking about the 4th of July. That's right around the corner too. I don't know where this year's going. For parade participants, application packets for the cart, the floats, and the classic cars are available right now. No, starting June 1st, which is it'll be soon also, at the front reception desk at the main clubhouse. And the theme for this year's celebration is America, red, white, and blue. So start thinking about that and put a cart in the parade. It'll be fun. The community shredding event, that's a date change. It was on the 25th. It's on the 20th now. And then the spring garage sales coming up on Saturdays in May from 8 to 4. Please look at all the postings that are everywhere for when your district has one. Trips and excursions, brochures are at the front desk. Okay, I can't tell you about all the travel then. I hear my little buzzer over there telling me to get off. But I wanted to say one more thing, to please get your information from Channel 97, from Sun Lakes, Good Day Sun Lakes, from the Sun Lakes Country Club website, and the Lifestyles magazine. There's no reason that we don't know what's going on. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Sorry to hear that Elvis won't be in the building now. Next, we have the RV Storage Area Advisory Committee. No report. Next, Restaurant and Lounge.
Mr. President and Board, our advisory committee would like to congratulate Randy, Dan, and Bob for the election. Welcome. I'm looking forward to a very strong relationship with the board. The Restaurant and Lounge Advisory Committee members have strong backgrounds in hospitality management, marketing, finance, and sales. With the help and support of First Residential, our new chef, Chris, who's taking us to a new level in creative cuisine and presentation, our wonderful F&B director, Thomas, our new front of the house manager and staff trainer, Caitlin. What we need to do And our goal is to eliminate the horrific cost of having our own restaurant and lounge. Let me be clear. We are not expecting the restaurant and lounge to make a profit. What we would like to see is that it at least pays for itself. Big changes have to be made, or the financial burden comes to the entirely and will rest with the homeowners with increased HOA fees. I'm going to be presenting some of our ideas to the master board myself next month, and I'm trusting they will keep an open mind to the changes that the committee has developed. It will increase revenue by tens of thousands of dollars. I remain optimistic for the future of our restaurant and lounge. Our committee is working very hard to ensure the success of the Sun Lakes Food and Beverage Services. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Victoria. We appreciate you and your committee and your innovative ideas. Next is Safety Committee.
Good evening, Master Board, Administration, fellow residents. My name is Michael Voles, and I'm representing the Safety Committee this evening. The important message this month from our group is driving safely. Securitas, who you know is our on-site security company, has been working more closely with the district delegates to help with safety concerns of trespassing and speeding. Securitas will be patrolling with flashing lights on their trucks from dusk to dawn to provide a deterrent for trespassers and speeders. Through March and April, the patrol team and residents have reported a surge in speeders and unsafe driving on Country Club Drive and Riviera Avenue in the late evenings. The speed limit is 25 and vehicles have been seen moving at 40 miles per hour or more. This can cause safety issues or accidents, which of course we don't want. Entering through the main gate is especially concerning for speed since many residents walk their dogs in that area, and it is recommended that these people wear highly visible or fluorescent clothing in the evening when walking, and also after sunset carry a flashlight so that they're more visible. So please slow down, be aware, and drive carefully. There's been a large increase in parking citations through March and April. Please be sure to renew gate passes before they expire. We all must comply with Sun Lake's rules and regulations. And as mentioned before, the RV lot will be repaved starting on May 9th, so all the RVs have to be removed from that lot by May 8th. And they will be parked on different streets here in Sun Lake, so this is also going to cause a driving hazard, which is another reason to drive more carefully, slow down, and be careful. And another point here is, remember, if you see something suspicious, to call 911 first. The Banning PD will respond, then call Securitas after. Remember to close your garage doors. A lot of people still aren't doing that, and it's very important that we close our garage doors. In summary, drive defensively, slowly, and carefully. Renew guest passes before they expire. Wear bright clothing if walking in the evening. Walk with a flashlight after sunset. Pick up after your pets. Call 911 if you see something suspicious, and remember to close your garage doors. Sun Lakes is a beautiful community. Let's keep it safe and enjoy our time here. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is the consent agenda. I need a motion to approve the consent agenda and a second.
So move.
I need a second.
I'll second.
Anything need to be removed from the consent agenda? No? The consent agenda is as follows. The board, prior to the meeting, was provided with the minutes from the March 23rd open session board meeting, the April 13th annual meeting and election minutes, the April 13th organizational meeting minutes, and also the approval of the liens, which Chris will read for us.
Those lien numbers, for the account numbers, I'm sorry, are 0419-02 0546-01, 1350-01, 1637-03, 1643-01, 2378-01, 2782-01, and 3147-01.
Thank you. I need a vote on the consent agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
The matter passed, 5-0. Next is board reports. It's going to be the treasurer report. Dan will provide a report for us.
Good evening, everyone. Glad to see so many smiling faces here. The March Treasurer's Report should be in the next issue of Lifestyles. It looks busy, and it is. I'll tell you a little bit about it right now. So when you get it, you'll maybe have a better understanding of it. Page 1 of the report, you'll see presented in the first 3 columns, the 2021 year-end actuals, the 2021 year-end budget, and the 2022 yearly budget for the HOA, golf, and the food and beverage cost areas. The 3 columns on the right side of the sheet show the actuals for the first 3 months in each one of those cost areas. The good news is that we're still in the surplus mode. We have about $355,000 year-to-date underrun. The March surplus is about $100,000 less than the prior month, primarily caused by cost increases in the admin and irrigation water. This is the first time that I can remember since I've lived at Sun Lakes that all the labor categories were in underrun condition. Page 2 of the Treasurer's Report is the balance sheet info for the last 6 months. The assets continue to increase. Cash and investments are consistently above $13 million. Liabilities are always near $2 million, depending on what level of pending reserve activity we've included in the balance sheet. All told, it is easy to see that Sun Lakes Country Club is a $14 million operation. The accrued payroll is at $455,000. It's about 4.5 weeks of unreimbursed labor costs. The overall financial condition is good. As usual, there are issues. Golf will continue to be in the red. It is showing losses of $67,000, $67,000, and $57,000 for the first 3 months. A side note, higher usage of irrigation may have already started this year. Food and beverage continues to also be in the red. Lots of the overrun condition is continued low staffing and fewer hours of operation. The cost of food was 36% for March, very well, 48% year-to-date. Labor costs are 106% for March and 108% year-to-date. One of the things that's always frustrated me as a resident was to have somebody get up and talk about numbers and not have a copy of what they're talking about in front of me. So tonight I'm going to ask that we have a resolution, if we can't do it tonight, to at least put it on the agenda for the next open session, is to have the financials released and posted on the website the day after the board gets them, so that next time you show up here and I start talking about this, you can have a copy of what you think is important with you, and we can talk about it. Can I do that? Can I make that recommendation, or do we have to have a...
That's already on the agenda.
It's already on the agenda for tonight.
Okay. I'm smarter than I thought I was. And that concludes my report.
Thank you very much. I believe we have a member from the audience that wanted to dovetail on that report.
I'm sorry.
And indicate.
Don Day, yes.
Don Day wanted to talk about the charts that he has prepared. Now, this is not an official part of the report, but I think we should offer him that opportunity. Don?
I'm happy to be unofficial. I'd like to provide an update on the financial graphs that are at the back of the room here. I took this project on at the February board meeting because I was trying to make some information that's a little bit easier for the prior board to look at departmental expenses, sales versus budget versus actual. Also, with the thought of sharing this type of information in this format with residents going forward. Couple of comments that I have before I get into the actual explanation of the graphs and where we're at. Last month at the board meeting, some of you may have been here, may not have been here, I shared 4 personal goals associated with the graph project that I've been working on that Chris and Jason have been very helpful in providing information on. The first goal I had was I would like to work with the new financial advisory committee, the board and admin, to take whatever out of this project would make sense in the financials as presented to the residents. These are basically trend analysis showing the budget for the whole year and how we're doing actually month to month in those key areas. Dan has already fixed that because he's invited me to join the Finance Advisory Committee and take this project with me to the committee. The second item, I was hoping to encourage the board to publish financials and the lifestyles. There again, Dan has already done it and got them out into the magazine, so I think that's great. The third item that I said I would like to do is I would like to track golf course water usage and expense, and if Chris would like to get me that information, I'll still do that, or we could just hold off until the Finance Advisory Committee and see how they want to go. The fourth and final thing that was expected to take place was this was going to be shared on Channel 97 and our Facebook page. That has not happened at this point. I hope it will. I'm sure Chris and Bob, you guys can make that happen shortly so it gets presented.
We can review that matter, yes.
Thank you. So relative to the graphs that are back, the two to the right-hand side basically is 2021 budget to actual for 13 key stats. Some of those, 4 of those were in the restaurant, 4 were in the golf area, 1 was in the HOA administration, and the other was the reserve performance, basically the balance, month to month. The 20 on the left side is this month, this year rather, which is actual for January and February. I don't have March numbers when I put these together. And it's the budget by month for those same 13 key stats for the entire year. So if you go in the back and you look at the graphs, there's a yellow line and a blue line. The blue line is the budget for that particular item. As an example, on the top of the 2022 chart graph is restaurant sales. And you'll see exactly what the budget said we were going to do each month for the entire year. The yellow line is the actual line for January and February. And what you'll notice is the sales in the restaurant, and I'm only sharing this one chart as an example, is really struggling. And it's planning to grow even higher, projecting more sales in March and then going forward. So that's just one comment I had.
Don, if you could wrap it up shortly, that would be
I'm done.
appreciated. Okay, thank you very much for all your time, effort, and we appreciate it.
Thanks.
The next item.
It's not my place to analyze it. That's for the board and those folks. So thank you.
Thank you.
Don, I have to apologize. I was supposed to introduce you, and not in my notes. I'm sorry.
Next item is new business. Going to receive and file the March 31st financial statement packet. I need a motion to approve. Go ahead and make that motion.
I move to receive and file the financial packet.
I need a second.
Second.
Any comments from the board? Any comments from the members? Yes. No comments? I need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Passes 5-0. Next item is the delinquency policy revision. I'll have Chris read the revision on that. Basically, what we're trying to do is make sure that we're complying with the requirements from the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. We just have to comply with the statutory law. I'll have him read that. Thank you.
Correct. As there was a communication that was done in December as the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau set new requirements requiring that a validation letter be sent to delinquent owners at the start of the collection process. The normal collection process was to issue a delinquency notice, then an intent to lien, and a lien. The CFPB, for short, changed that and requires that a validation letter be sent. That will have an impact of extending the process. So it will move it back to when an intent to lien can begin and a lien. But this is a requirement, and that requires that if approved, so that we're compliant with the CFPB, that we will revise the delinquency policy and that will be mailed out to the membership.
Thank you. Any other comments before we vote on that matter? Go ahead and vote. Aye.
Aye. We need a motion.
I don't think we had a motion.
I thought we had a motion in a second. I thought you made that already.
No.
I thought we did.
I move we approve the delinquency policy revision.
Okay.
I'll second. Oh, sorry, Dan.
Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Next is the Recreation Advisory Committee, Paper Crafting Group. Staff has received a request from the Recreation Advisory Committee to approve the formation of a group called Paper Crafting. The group provided, Recreation Advisory Committee provided supporting documentation that includes the group application, contact information for the 31 members of the group, and the board will need to vote on this issue and approve or deny the request. I need to have a motion on that matter.
I move that we approve the paper crafting group. I second it for discussion.
Any comments from the board?
Yes, I do. Wasn't the scrapbooking committee, didn't they change their name to paper something a couple, 3 months back? Okay, so what's the difference would be my question between that group and paper crafting? Oh, so it's another name change. Thank you, Patricia.
Yeah, and they've been operating here since 2004, doing it. We're just now officially naming them as a group. Any other comments from the board or for the members? I need a vote on this matter. All in favor?
Aye.
Next matter is charter approval for expansion of, and having an ad hoc committee look for expansion of the master board.
You skip the FAC?
We'll get back to them. Okay. I'm just going by this.
Okay.
Okay, on the charter approval, I need to have a motion.
Which one are you on, Bob?
I'm on the charter approval, board expansion ad hoc committee.
So we are on item D, charter approval, Finance
Yes.
Advisory Committee.
Correct. Yes. I need a motion to approve and a second on that particular charter.
I move we approve the draft charter for the Board Expansion Committee.
I second that.
No, we are on item number D as in dog, charter approval.
I think they skipped that one, Chris. I'm not sure why they did,
Okay.
but we're doing the ad hoc first.
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. Okay, I have a first and a second. Any comments from the board?
Yeah, I'd like to know exactly what that is.
Okay. Dan?
One of the things that we talked about at a couple of the candidate forums was there was some concern that the board was not large enough to handle all of the things that would be facing or that it had faced in the past. And a number of people expressed willingness to look at whether or not we should expand the board. And that's all that this is an ad hoc committee to look into expanding the board. The charter is not even a half a page long. It says, go out and look at a whole bunch of things. So that's basically what this is.
Yeah, it's just a committee, ad hoc committee to review. There's a lot of issues involved, like CC&Rs and bylaws, et cetera. So I think it doesn't hurt to look into it and review and then report back to us. Any comments from the members?
Barbara, come on up.
Barbara. Yeah, just skip right over that one.
I appreciate you're asking us for comments, but we haven't seen the document. So this goes back to what we we keep asking for documentation in the board package as permissible. It's hard for us to comment, like on the March financials, when we haven't seen the documents yet. They don't show up on the website until you've approved things.
Stand by for a RAM, Barbara. You're right. It should have been attached to the agenda, and it wasn't. Okay?
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Mea culpa. We will correct that in the future. Appreciate your comment. No other comments? I need a vote on this matter.
Wait, you want to, it's so brief, we could read it.
Yeah, I would, just a comment on
You
that
wanna
as well.
read the entire
Not
thing?
all the board members have actually seen this
Well,
document.
I think
so-
we have. It's in the
Yeah,
packet.
it was,
Go ahead and read it.
hang on, let me find it first. Here we go.
And it's
Actually,
page
I don't have it
75.
handy. Tammy, do you know what page it's on?
It's page 75, Dan.
Oh, okay. Okay, the Master Board Directors, hereinafter called MBD, has the authority to appoint an ad hoc committee to explore expansion of the Master Board of Directors. Accordingly, the MBD establishes an ad hoc Master Board Expansion Committee. The committee shall do the following: determine legal feasibility of board expansion, exploring which, if any, governing documents need to be updated, determine if there is a need for board expansion, determine qualifications for new board members, determine number of additional members, determine possible changes in member terms depending on board population, determine if board member responsibilities need to be updated, determine if mechanisms necessary to implement any recommendations provided to the Master Board of Directors. Any and all recommendations will be forwarded to the Master Board, who will evaluate the findings and make needed changes.
Thank you. Any other comments before we vote on this matter? I need a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, we're going to go back to item number D, charter approval for the financial
We
advisory.
need a clarification, just who made the
Who
second?
seconded that?
Did you
Did
second
Beverly second it for discussion? only?
Beverly did
Oh, I
for
did.
discussion.
For discussion, yeah. Okay. So
Thank you.
at this point in time, one of the things that we have to do is ask for volunteers to submit an interest form to be on this committee. If you're interested, you think this would be a good place for you to make a change, please volunteer for it.
Next item is the charter approval for the Financial Advisory Committee. This is not an ad hoc, this is a permanent approval. The treasurer has submitted a revised charter for the Financial Advisory Committee. The draft charter is attached for the board to review and approve. I need a motion on that matter.
I move.
I'll second.
Any comments or discussion from the board about our members?
Can I?
Yes.
One of the things that we did at the candidate forum is I promised that we would have a draft at the first open session. I submitted one to be included with the agenda tonight. It wasn't, and I resubmitted another one, an updated version of it. And basically what it's saying is that it's no longer going to be an ad hoc committee. It's going to be a standing committee, and it's going to have anywhere from a minimum of 5 people, possibly up to 13. We're looking at the potential for a subcommittee to do reserves, a subcommittee to do investments, a subcommittee to look at contracts for normal procurements, and then a subcommittee just to evaluate overall contracts within the community. So having 5 people on the committee might be not feasible if they want to do all those things. And basically, that's the only change, other than, the fact that it's not going to be an ad hoc committee.
Thank you. Need a vote on that matter? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Next is a financial statement public release. In late 2018, Assembly Bill 2912 instituted and modified the Civil Code Section 5500. This required monthly review of financial statements by the board and approval in open session. In 2019, the Board of Directors instituted a procedure to not release the financial statements to the public until the Board of Directors accepted them in an open meeting. The current board would like to discuss this procedure and possibly change it. In other words, receive that within 10 days, not after the board. The board can take any action to reverse the procedure if they so desire. So I need a motion on that matter.
I move to approve.
I'll second that. Any comments?
Yeah, so let me understand. Right now, we receive and file, and then we have a chance to review it before we release it to the community, correct?
No. The requirement is that the board review all of the financial statements. It never says anything, even though it says down here in the wording on this, that we approve it. We just basically review and file it. What I would like to do to have this done is so that when all of these good people come in next month and listen to me go on the treasurer's report and the financials, they know what I'm talking about because they've already seen it.
Okay, so let me rephrase that. Whoa, sorry about that. We receive it and file it, and then we review it before it gets released. And we're proposing now to receive and file and release without review?
We don't do anything. Have you ever not reviewed and filed the report?
Okay, it's called receive and file, and then after we receive and file, then we review. That's easy to say.
Review and file.
Right.
So for clarification, what will happen is if this is approved, the financials would be released at the same time the board receives them on the 10th business day.
Okay, so before we really have a
You would still have
chance.
the process, it would still be on the open session to comply with the civil code.
Yep.
But it will just be released earlier.
So would we receive, file, and release?
So you'll receive it at the same time, the public will receive it the same time the board receives it.
Okay, so
On the 10th business day of the month.
I have a concern with that. If our treasurer and the rest of the board hasn't had a chance to look at it, I'm concerned that we may have misinformation going out. We may have mistakes. I mean, mistakes do happen. I would much prefer being able to have a look at that. We don't have to sit on it till the open. We could release it 5 days later, but I think this board needs to look at it before we release it, in my opinion.
In my experience, I had 6 years on the Finance Advisory Committee and over 5 years on the board. Only one time in that 12-year period did we ever send a report back to the provider, and that was when it was PCM. Right now, the requirement is for us to review and file. It doesn't say anything about approve. And nothing that's gone out in the last 2 to 3 years has ever caused any consternation sufficient for us to send it back to First Service and say, sorry, buddies, you got to do your report.
And I'm not saying approve, I want to review. And if you look at when we bring it in, we receive it, we file it, then we have a couple of days to review it, then we let it go out. Maybe I'm not making myself clear. But I would like to look at it before I put it out.
Okay. On what the current situation is right now, the board receives the package about the 10th business day. Could be anywhere from the 13th, 14th, or 15th of the month. Nothing happens with that for the homeowners until after an open session when the board reviews and files it. There's no excuse, no reason for the homeowners not to have that at the same time the board has it. It's their money. They should know what's going on with it. And that way they have a chance to sit there and review it. And then when they come in here, they have an opportunity to ask questions about it on a limited basis. And they understand what I'm talking about when I do the treasurer's report.
And I agree with you on that, Dan. They should be able to look at it before open.
That's
But
right.
we should be able to look at it before we release it. All I'm saying is I'd like the board to have a look at it to make sure that we don't have a typo. Those happen. Make sure there's nothing that's on there that's incorrect so that we don't have to say, oops, we made a mistake. We're pulling it back. We're going to send it out again. Just a few days. That's all I'm asking.
Let me ask you a question. I hate to do this to you,
But you're going to do it.
I'm going to. How many of the 295 pages of the financial report that we received have you reviewed?
I have reviewed. I've gone through several of them. That's why I'm not the treasurer.
Several pages or several?
Yes. I just think there's some important things on there that we need to look at.
Any comments from the members?
You know, I appreciate what Dan's doing because in the past, when we got the financial report, it was a day late and a dollar short. What Dan is allowing the board to do, or wants the board to do, is give us that financial report up front. If there's typos in it, we'll find it. If there's errors in it, we'll all find it. So when you come back at the next meeting, we're intelligent enough to discuss it and raise an issue with it. There's no need to review, the board to review it and make corrections. If there's anything in there, we'll find it. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other comments before we put the matter to a vote? Yes.
Oh, it's Barbara.
Barbara Jesus. Okay, until recently, I didn't realize that you weren't even allowed to approve the minutes because they're not audited. So the review and file is exactly how it's supposed to be done. I think there's a happy medium in there. I have to agree with Beverly. Why doesn't the board look at it for 5 days and then put it out? But right now, the way it works is it's not out until after you review it, which we have to then wait 30 days if we have any questions and everybody's doing follow-up. So I think there's a happy medium, and I would expect that management would advise you exactly what the process needs to be, and I haven't heard them say anything yet. So is what the board is talking about, is that permissible under the code or a recommended legal way to carry that out? Thank you.
It is permissible if they want to release it early. They just still have to, in an open session, receive and file to comply with the civil code.
Thank you. Any other? Yes.
I think if you release it before, I think I like the idea very much, that we get the information early rather than later. Only problem I see, it's not really a problem, but you're going to have a lot of questions from us, at these meetings about why this is so, why this is high, so your meetings are going to be a little different. Maybe you should expand, or have a separate session, because I'm going to have a lot of questions, and I'm sure previous PAC members are going to have a lot of questions on the financials if given an opportunity. Right now, we are in an unhappy situation where we haven't seen the financials, so we don't even know what to ask. So you're going to the other extreme where we have a lot of questions. You may not have reviewed it. You'll be reviewing it hopefully before we do, but almost maybe simultaneous with us,
Okay, I'm going to get the report on the 10th business day or the very next day. I'm going to have about a day and a half to get a treasurer's report done to go on the lifestyles. Rest assured, I'm going to go through that report, okay? If we get enough questions at the open sessions, I personally will set up a separate session and go through the report. We'll go down to the multi-purpose room on a different day and do it that way if we have to.
My name is Millie Hunter, and for all the years I've been here, and when they changed this not to give it to us until after the meetings, it took gave us the opportunity when we got it by the 15th at the latest, we could go over it and have questions to ask. But they turned around and changed it so we couldn't ask any questions at the board meetings. And then the next month, it was irrelevant. I think it's very unfair to the people of this community who pay the bills that we have no rights in this situation. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to bring the matter to a vote. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Nay.
Passes 4-1. Next item on the agenda is approval of the name for the name change for the restaurant and lounge. The name, the Restaurant and Lounge Contest, went out to the community and then to the Restaurant and Lounge Committee. There's an attached document indicating the names they're recommending, and I need a motion to either approve, deny, or delay that, or table that particular item. Thank you.
I move that we table this item.
And I second it.
I need comments from the board in reference to that, please.
I do have a comment on that. Remember when we did the restaurant survey where we asked everybody, what do you think about the restaurant? What kind of niche do you think it is? What do you want to see? Do you think we should expand the lounge? All of that. And we got a lot of information back from that, which has been very helpful in kind of looking at the restaurant and the direction that it's going. So in that, and this was published a couple months ago in Lifestyles with all of the results that we got from the 506 or 7 or 8 that were returned, and with a little narrative with that. So there are changes that the residents who responded want to see. And knowing that, I think we got the cart before the horse here as far as naming it, because what you see now is not what it's going to be if we take some of these steps. And some of these steps can be easily implemented. We've looked at, you heard us talking before about putting plants in the restaurant, and we're looking at some process of doing that. Lighting was an issue. The lounge, everybody seems to want the lounge expanded, so that's another thing. So I just think we're a little premature in naming the restaurant and lounge right now, because because it could be something totally different in a year, and then we'd have to do it again. But
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sorry. Any other comments from the board?
Yeah, I understand what Beverly's saying, but one of my concerns is it's gone to committee. Committee has come back with it. One of the things I commented on the forums is respecting our committees. There might be other reasons that come up, and those might be legitimate reasons, but I think we still need to give very serious consideration to the committee's work on this.
oh, definitely.
Yes, and we appreciate the efforts made. Another comment is that the ACES name for the lounge is also the same name that they have at the lakes. I don't know if we want to copy their name.
Oasis, is that what it is?
Yeah, my name's Al Jazzcar. You know, the restaurant and lounge committee chair mentioned that she's going to give a report at the next open session on all the items that they were thinking of doing to improve the restaurant. And I would like to wait to have the restaurant and lounge renamed until after or at the meeting that she gives her presentation at. Thank you.
Thank you.
Did you get that, Bob? He doesn't care.
My name is Linda Vieira. It has always been a pet peeve of mine since Jeremy Wilson corrected me, is that we do not have a dining room. We have a restaurant. We're not a nursing home with a dining room. We have a restaurant. And when they answer the phone, they say, Sun Lake's dining room. It's referred to as the dining room so often, and it is one of my pet peeves. And the suggestion to name it was so that they would be able to answer the phone calling it by name. It has nothing to do with the plants or anything else that's coming. It's just a matter of this is not a dining room, it is a restaurant.
Thank you. Victoria?
This was already decided upon, the naming contest. It's already been delayed way too long. We had quite a few participants. The names aren't going to change if we change the decor drastically. They're not going to change because of the name. The name, it's not, we need, just because we're seniors, we don't need to feel like we're in a retirement old people's home. The restaurant committee is trying to get some ambiance, some class, some excitement, and a name is important. I agree with Linda. Thank you for saying that. It is not a dining room. Okay, we're not the Lakes, and even the Lakes has a name. So for their restaurant, I think the advisory committee and the master board, we need to work together to create a beautiful place for people to eat, and it comes with a name. So, thank you.
Thank you. I'm going to go ahead and call for a vote on this matter. We have a motion and a second to table it. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Next is the homeowner comments. I do have about a half a dozen, 5 homeowner comments. Remember, when you make your comments, try to keep them within the 3-minute time limit. Thank you. First one is Bob Hicks. Okay.
Oh, Bob, oh, please.
Next one is Paul Perkins.
Good evening. My name is Paul Perkins. We've lived here for about 22 years. I appreciate getting the new agenda. It shows that there are attachments to it. Now, when I pulled it down from the website, there were no attachments. That's not a hot item. You need to fix that because this would have told us on some of the information that was there. It's important that we do that. This has been asked for some time, is to have attachments to the agenda. And this has a paper clip. It says it should have been an attachment. Some of you have spoken about page 75 and this type of thing. There ain't none. This was 7 pages. I'd like you to fix that. I would like the board to directly understand how that's going to be fixed. At the last meeting, I also asked that we should have an app for Windows, iPhone, the different things. It's been available for over 5 years. I'm asking the board to understand and give us a date when this app can be done. It was not brought up or discussed at this meeting. It needs to be. Have any of you looked at the recent Sun Lake's website? Okay, I have a macro eye problem. I can't see very well. I have to get my nose up with a little thing and everything else. The website's been changed. It used to be able to click on the member and get inside. You can't do that now. We got like 3 or 4 little lines that you got to go find. You click on that, then it says down at the bottom, member login. I want that fixed. I would like it to be user-friendly. We also cannot do a search function in the website. This is very important. If you want to look at the financials, you're going to have to try to figure out how to go and find all this stuff. There needs to be a search area where you can say financials, that type of thing, communication, forms, that type of thing. There's none there.
Thank you very much for your comments. I think, have we reached the 3-minute time period, or we're over it? Okay, you have another 20 seconds, sorry.
Okay, well, my comments are to the board. I would like the board, whoever's responsible, to answer that next week, or next month, that not to have the management company try to answer it. I think the board should be responsible for answering our questions. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Don Day.
Thank you. My wife informed me that I was 2 minutes over, so I owe you a credit, okay? This will be quick. I just wanted to announce that at the last Pass Action Town Hall meeting, I volunteered to put together a door-to-door campaign to raise money for our legal defense to fight this warehouse across the street. This is a really important process. We've done a good job of raising money. We still have a long way to go, and I'm looking for help. I have 2 more slots that I'd like to fill on a committee to get this thing kicked off. I'll be speaking, I hope, at the delegates meeting on the 5th as a resident, not as an agenda item. And in the back, I'll be up there by the charts if anybody has any questions on 2022. And I also have a sign-up form. So if you are willing to help out in any manner, I'd sure like you to step up. We sure need some help. Thank you.
Thank you. Next is Ajit.
I'm Ajit Desai. First, I want to congratulate all the newly elected members and wish the newly constituted board good luck. Expect great things from you this year. Okay. I'm doing a survey on restaurant, and it's been I've sent out about 1,300 invitations to people. And I've also published it in the two Facebook pages we have, New York, the new Sun Lakers, as well as the Sun Laker Peeps. And so please participate in it if you've not already participated. And if you want to contact me, my telephone number is in the directory. If you can help out, that would be really great. It's been designed by 3 Financial Advisory Committee members, as well as Victoria Simonton. She gave us good guidance. And hopefully the idea is to get the pulse of the community and see what ideas y'all have, to bring the restaurant to financial viability, but also to make it a pleasurable dining experience. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I do encourage the members to look at that and take that survey. It's a long survey, but it's very, very comprehensive, and I think it'll help us moving forward as to how to improve the overall operations and what we want. Next is Barbara.
Thank you. Okay, so since the city of Banning wasn't here tonight, I just wanted to touch base on a couple of things very quickly. There was one of the topics was the cannabis. So there is a committee to work on the cannabis locations, and they'd like, one of the recommendations was to put the cannabis locations in every zoned area. So whether it be business, retail, commercial, that's what they are looking at. So if you have concerns about that, you should get back to the city council. It is Water Week, and City Council did something on that. But I'm curious about the water meter issues we've had that cost us hundreds of thousands of dollars over the past years. Is that something we're not going to see going forward? Has that meter situation been resolved? So I think we should have a status on that. Banning seems to have lots of underground, I don't forget what they call them, underground water. So we seem to be pretty good for water over the next few years. The pool room. I think some people are going to talk about that tonight, the billiards room. And I did not appreciate that, whoever did those chairs, I'm sorry, that doesn't work. I think that was not a good decision. My understanding is the pool players weren't involved in the decision. That room has 4 types of chairs in it, and it's awful looking. Let alone, I heard we had a theft. So what else is new? I shouldn't be locked out of the pool room or have to get a key to go into an amenity that I'm paying for just because somebody attempted to break into the lockers. So I have some other suggestions for that I'll pass on, but that's what we've heard, and that's what some people were saying in the pool room. Well, I think that was one of the proposals, was that we should get a key and then go into the pool room, a key from the receptionist.
I thought that was only on Sunday.
I don't know. Jason, do you want to correct me?
It was just on Sunday, and that has now stopped.
Just on Sunday? Okay.
But it has now stopped.
So we can get into the pool room anytime?
Yes.
Yay! Okay. And then I'll leave the chair.
When the clubhouse is open, Barbara.
And then we'll leave the awful chair situation up to you folks. The bar near the library, that $40,000 project we have over there, maybe you guys could run a contest about that and figure out what we could do with that space. Except it's like a dead zone right now, so that might be a good future project. Okay, and anytime minutes are provided to the membership, like on the delegate newsletters and things, I think it would be helpful if you can add the homeowner comments on there. I noticed the last few, the homeowner comments at the end of the meeting weren't on there. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Barbara. Before we adjourn, we're going to complete this session with comments from our directors. I'll start with Beverly.
First off, it's great to see so many people here. Now, let me ask you, did the popcorn have anything to do with it? It is great to see people here, and I appreciate everyone who's watching at home as well. It's encouraging to have so much interest and enthusiasm from the homeowners in what's happening here. It's your community, so it's great that you are here and participating. 2 reminders. Starting yesterday, the lounge is now open from 3 to 8 on Tuesdays. We did that for a couple of reasons. First off, we're trying to slowly but surely get things open. Secondly, we have devised a thing for bingo, so that bingo now has like a hot dog bar and a hot dog bar, and then the porta bar for them. And both of those are for non-residents at a higher price than the cost of the alcohol around at our bar. So around at our bar is where all of us can go. You can order off of the appetizer menu, and you can order drinks. The restaurant's not open, but the lounge is open. So come down on a Tuesday, because we're getting there. A few more things are opening. And that's just a reminder, I think most people realize the Sandwich is now open Wednesday through Saturday, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m. for breakfast or lunch. And you can order a hamburger at 7 a.m. if you want to. And you can order bacon and eggs at 2 p.m. if you want to. So it's an all-inclusive menu, but they are open Wednesday through Saturday. And again, we're working on getting things open more and more and more, especially with the summer season coming around. We're all going to want to be out on the veranda with our drinks. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Lori?
I, too, would just like to comment on, I'm really thrilled with how many people are here tonight. And I hope this continues. I think it's great. I'm happy to see you all here. So I just would like to welcome the new board members, and hopefully we'll have a great year. Thank you.
Thank you. Dan?
First off, I'd like to thank all the people that voted for me and elected me to this well-paying position. They've been looking for the pay increase that everyone else got. It's very important. For a couple of things that we did tonight was the putting forth the new charter for the Finance Advisory Committee. And we didn't really solicit volunteers for that. What we'd like to do is to have a whole bunch of people rush to sign up to be on the FAC, give them the charter, that's why it's called a draft, and let them beat it to death for a month or so, and then approve it and them next month as here's the charter, and here's the committee. So if you're thinking about being on the FAC at all, there's forms in the back. You can get them out in the lobby. Please join the FAC and see the world. Last half was not true. Also for the contract review committee, we need volunteers for that. Again, thank you for your support. I know that there's some expectations that you have. Do my best to live up to my commitments in those areas.
Thank you. Randy?
Like Dan said, I'd like to thank everybody that supported me during the campaign. I really look forward to working with the board, the district delegate assembly, and all the committees. It takes the whole community, and like Dan said, I want to see more volunteers for committees. Let's get the applications in. We'll review them. There's committee openings. We'll probably have a list coming out soon of where there's openings, and we'll get that taken care of. But my goal is just to continue an open start and continue an open dialogue. In the last 12 days, as I usually do, I've jumped in with both feet. We've had plenty of meetings already, and looking forward to serving the community. Thank you.
Thank you. The new board intends to address your concerns of more input, more accountability, and more financial review of the financial process. Some of the things that we're starting to initiate and will be initiating are we're going to have on the website a message to management. And what this is, if you have a concern, complaint, issue, it's going to be on there where you can tab and you can write in and you contact them, email them your concern, and they will respond to you within a 24 hours. So you will get a timely response on your issues. This is very important. I find that this has been missing in the past. Not their fault, but whatever, just organizationally, it needs to be completed, and they have committed to begin doing that. I don't have a date that it's going to start, but it'll be very, very soon. So I'm looking forward to that. We're also going to be expanding our committees. We're having more committees, more involvement from the tremendous talent that we have here to oversee our finances, to review our contracts, and to assist in landscaping and other issues that, that we have here. So I would encourage everybody that has any interest to get involved, fill out the forms. There's some here at the podium, there's some in the back. And Randy and I will be doing a little recruitment campaign to get more people for these very, very important committees, especially the financial advisory and the contract committee is another one we're going to be setting up shortly. Another thing is that we're going to be changing the time of our open sessions. We're going to be having them starting in May. We're going to have them at 3 o'clock, not 6:30. And the reason we're changing that is because we're going to have them a little bit longer. There's going to be more information, more involvement. All the committees will be reporting out, not half of them. It's a requirement on their charter. So you'll get more information from them. You'll get more information from us. And I think starting in that particular time of the day, we'll probably get a better turnout. We'll see how it works out. It's temporary change just to see if we can improve, but we have a tremendous turnout this evening. I really, really appreciate that. But remember, next month is going to be 3 o'clock, not 6:30. The management company here, First Service, has other communities in Southern California that they manage. We're the only one that's had evening open sessions. And there's a reason for that. It's more convenient for the people to come out and participate and observe in the afternoon. So we're going to try that. The community is basically us. We're here. We're all here. We need to get involved. We need to help and accomplish the goals that you all have indicated you're interested in this recent campaign. And we need more people as soon as possible to volunteer, and that's what we're looking forward to. The last thing, I know water is an issue. We're going to have a water expert from the city come out at the next community awareness. I think it's May the 23rd at 11 o'clock. He'll be here. So if you're interested in getting an update on the water crisis and how the city is going to react to that, please show up at that particular event. Thank you very much, and we'll see everybody next month. I need a motion to adjourn.
I move we adjourn.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.